Yo, this video is not a guide on how to play Felsworn, but it's rather a showcase for people that are interested in the Felsworn Infernal playstyle and class design. The very first thing you'll notice is that you are an energy-based caster. Yes, you heard that right. You don't have any mana, and you don't need to worry about going You also have something called Fel Fury, which are your combo points over here. And besides having energy and combo points as a caster, you can also cast while moving. Pretty much every spell, except for Ruin, which is your single target spender. The other specializations also have energy and combo points, but besides that, you also share this ability here, Inner Demon. And it not only increases your damage by 10%, but it also unlocks these secondary abilities that you see here for almost every spell. So how does the playstyle look for Felsworn? You basically want to go into demon form as soon as possible and stay in demon form throughout the whole fight. For AoE damage, you basically want to cast Felwrath if you have at least 5 targets, which does a lot amount of AoE damage and also applies a dot on your targets. This will become especially important once you get this talent here, which gives you a 20% chance to generate 1 Fel Fury for each periodic damage. So which means if you have enough targets and enough dots applied to your targets, you're basically just gonna spend all your Fury points on Felwrath to keep pumping big AoE damage all the time. The downside is that you only get this dot when you have 5 targets. That's where Sunder comes in. So if you have less than 5 targets, I would highly recommend putting Sunder first on your targets, which also applies a dot, so you can keep on spamming Felwrath. So a typical AoE rotation usually is like that when the tank starts pulling mobs, you can apply Bane of Chaos while he keeps pulling them. And once the mobs are all together and you have around like 5, maybe 6 points, you immediately want to go into demon form, press your Blood of Manaroth to get all your combo points back, and then just start spamming Felwrath. If there's at least 5 targets. If there's less, you want to use Sunder first. And also make sure when you use Blood of Manaroth and you go and spam Felwrath that you also use your cooldowns that increase your damage. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Most of the time, when there's more than 5 mobs, you'll just be spamming Felwrath over and over again. The damage is just so insanely high that there's not really a point in pressing Sunder unless there's less than 5 mobs. And that's pretty much it for the AoE rotation. And in single target, we want to use something called Bane of Fire, which not only increases our critical strike damage, but it also increases our critical strike chance with fire spells. And you'll notice that our single target, they're all fire damage. Shadow Flame, fire damage, and most importantly, Ruin, also Shadow Flame damage. So you want to always keep that on your target and never let it fall off. This is very important. And when it comes to the basic single target rotation, I've seen 2 playstyles. One where just one person just keeps spamming Ruin all the time without pressing anything else, just spamming Ruin, and when he runs out of Fel Fury, he keeps pressing Fireball to generate Fel Fury, and then immediately starts spamming Ruin again, which seemed to work pretty okay. But most people I've seen just use the normal rotation where they just use Fel Fireball and Sargeron Smite for their spender, and they're just hoping for instant Ruin procs. And those Ruin procs come from 3 direct critical strikes, or when you press Annihilation, which is your 45-second cooldown. Once you reach level 60, you can also grab this here, Sargeras Embrace, which is a pretty cool cooldown because it's only 1 minute CD, and while you're channeling it, your Ruin spell becomes instant. You can just spam Ruin. And on our class tree, sadly, we pretty much only get to pick this talent here. This one over here is more for tanks, and this here is kind of awkward to press because you gotta use Chaos Rush, which is our movement ability, to get 25% increased damage on our next direct spell or ability. And since it uses a global cooldown, I don't think it's worth to press. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you keep your Inner Demon form up, always have your Bane of Fire active at the target, get your Fel Fury up, spend it with Sargeron Smite, use your 1 minute CD. Whenever it's up, spam your Ruin. And when you're out of the cooldown, then just use Ruin when it gets procced. Or you can just play the other playstyle, which I'm not sure if it's viable or not, and just spam Ruin all day. Another cool thing about Felsworn is that we are very tanky. We get Hateforge Barrier. We also get Skull of Gul'dan, which increases our health and energy by 25%. Pretty neat. We can grab this talent here, which is basically a nice block. Not only do we get an Interrupt this Infernal, we also get a Spell Reflect. But I hope this helps. This is just a really quick guide for the PvE side on Felsworn, the Infernal spec. And let me know if you want to see another video for the Slayer spec. Alright, later!